So Ronnie, can you tell us about how I can master my life?
Life mastery. So the whole idea I've been thinking about over the last couple of years of looking into nutrition, and I've had a heavy focus on holistic health mastery. And the idea behind that is simply mastering ourselves, mastering our own behavior, right? So one of the most intimate ways that we interact with ourselves and with our environment is through what we put into our mouth. So the whole idea was that if we can master our blood sugar, if we can master the food options and the fuel selections that we're using to fuel our body, then we can actually master our behavior, because most people are victims of their blood sugar. They're victims of hypoglycemia, which is the clinical term for low blood sugar, right? So most people's food options are actually being dictated by their state of blood sugar, right? So that's a really important idea that I want to drive forward. And then expanding further than that is the psychological development and the emotional fitness, right? And then the fitness, the physical fitness, the physical movement, the mobility, the expression of the physical frame. I really believe that each person is born to really be an athlete. What kind of athlete? There's so many different options on how we can express our body, but each person has the ability to express their body in different ways based on what's intrinsic to them, what's natural for them. So the fitness piece is really important too. And then there's the entrepreneurial piece, right? Is that in order to be truly healthy, in order to have true vibrancy and life force energy exuding through us each and every day, each moment of the day, which is really what everything else in health is about channeling life force energy, then we have to be doing what we love to do. Right? And so we live in an economic time where we basically have the prosperity of information, the abundance of options on how we want to direct our life economically. We don't have to just work a job. We can really direct the sales any which way we want to go based on our uniqueness, based on our interests, based on our passions. And we can create a form of service in some kind of exchange, some kind of monetary exchange for the lifestyle we want to live. So the entrepreneurial piece is very key there. And then ultimately, how do we master our life? Well, it's my belief that you have to merge all these dynamics together, right? I talk a lot about this idea of becoming a well-rounded or a holistic, harmonic human being, right? Being a human being that's not just focused on one area of life, but you're in harmony with all the moving parts. Again, for me, that looks like the nutrition piece, how we're fueling ourselves, what input are we putting into our body to get the maximum amount of energetic output. And then there's the fitness piece, is actually how do we fine-tune our muscular system and our mobility? How do we move our body in different ways to rewire our neuromuscular system, right? And then there is the psychological development that ties in with emotional fitness. I don't really believe that we can become emotionally stable altogether, because there's always uncertainty when it comes to emotions. Emotions are very irrational. Right? So we have to understand that there's never going to be total consistency emotionally, but we can be emotionally fit, right? And so that's just understanding that every single day we can tune into our emotions, our emotional, psychological apparatus, and kind of see where the balance is between the two, between our thought forms and the emotions that are being propagated out of the thoughts that we're thinking. So we're basically mastering our psychological and emotional expression, and then that all funnels into the entrepreneurial piece, which is simply to say that you create a lifestyle and an economic lifestyle that's directed in the direction of what you love to do. So you have the freedom of expression, not just physically, not just mentally and emotionally and nutritionally, but also economically, where you're giving, you're contributing what you want to contribute in the world, and you're being rewarded with it financially. That allows all these other pillars to exist in harmonics.